No, no, it's
Okay. Hello, everyone, or the few people that might be watching right now. Most of you probably already know who I am, Travis. Let's see.
all right.
Am I on Google Hangouts? I have my buddy Adam. Say hello, Adam.
Hello.
um, if this is your first time on the live stream, Adam has been joining me the last couple ones. We kind of just sit and banter while I usually draw. Tonight's draw card is going to be Gambit, based on a Series 5 Marvel Universe card. So I'm going to start drawing that, and I've got kind of this mock layout kind of pre-drawn right here, just a kind of a basic um, double-sized card shape that I would normally draw in, and so I'll just start sketching. Adam, if you don't know who Adam is, we actually do a YouTube show together as well, called Lightning Culture. We talk movies, comic book art, or different things of opinions about the comic book industry. So we're just gonna kind of just hang out and go from there.
And we kick ass. Is that
No.
some word?
It's possible.
Well, enough
Also,
to
real quick,
say.
if y'all want to chat or anything, if you're watching this on Facebook, click on the actual YouTube link. You can chat with us on there. If you are watching this and you are not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification button, and you'll know when I post new videos. Which I was bad, I didn't post a new draw card last week, but I got one. I just finished up. That I sent you, Adam, yesterday.
Uh, Spike.
Yeah, yeah,
Spike.
yeah. So it was Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, based on a trading card that apparently had around. My mom had sent me a bunch of stuff, like these care packages, like I'm in camp still, and it was like with a comic book. Well, I don't even remember getting a comic book, Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic book, signed by James Marsters, the guy who played Spike, and that trading card, and a couple other trading cards too. But that video I think is going to be coming out Saturday.
Can I interest anyone in an ice cold Sutter home?
Why do
Does
you
that
have a
mean-
Sutter home? Uh,
Is that something that you
oh,
understand?
oh, that's a long inside story. So Ryan is a friend of mine where we were gonna buy a bunch of alcohol to get drunk one night, and for some reason I saw there was a bunch of Sutter homes sitting at Walmart. They were like two for $1 or whatever. The little Sutter homes. I was like, oh, that would be great. Which ended up making me sick, and I ended up throwing up on a playground. I'm pretty sure that night.
Cool story, nerd.
Yeah, you
Uh,
had to be
so did you,
there. It makes it
right,
sound like
right.
I'm alcoholic.
So did you hear that Marvel put out a trailer for the What If TV show?
Oh, did they? I know they were teasing stuff for the longest time.
Yeah, so it's going to be an animated, like a computer
Yeah.
animated TV show that will have actual voice actors.
Oh, really? They're not just gonna put up words on a screen or anything like that?
No, I mean literally, it's going to have like the original actors
Okay.
voicing it.
Because I'm
Um,
glad you specified there's actually be voice actors for that.
all right, you want to do this yourself?
No.
So Robert Downey Jr. is supposedly going to play Iron Man again at some point. Um, and so I mean, it's pretty true to the What If comic book. Like apparently, one of them is going to be What If T'Challa was Star Lord.
Yeah, I saw that, and also, what if was it Peggy Carter is was Captain America? Like she underwent the super soldier program instead of Steve.
Yeah, I think that was an actual comic too.
Yeah,
So I
where
think
I guess
some of
she's
them
Captain
are
Britain in this case.
something like that, and then Steve Rogers becomes Iron Man.
Yeah, like an early version of Iron Man. But it reminds me, what's the? It's like the DC. There's a DC character that looks like that big robot armor. It's like with Stargirl.
Oh, you're talking about Stars and
Yep.
Stripesy.
Because that's what that kind of reminds me of when I saw I saw like a teaser image of it. Let's see. Yeah, that I see Ryan. It said that was his first. Yeah, that was that your first or second time? I don't know.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But coming out for a little over a year now.
Yeah, did you not see the teaser stuff they had beforehand?
What you mean from a few months ago?
Well, no, they had it. I mean, at least a year ago, they had some stuff like some art showing Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers for that What If, and I think one thing for T'Challa.
Oh no, I must have missed that one. I don't pay too much attention. It just sometimes stuff pops up on my YouTube.
Go to YouTube. You know what to do, Tube.
Okay, so so you're drawing arguably one of the most popular X-Men of all time.
Yeah, yeah, I would say he's probably the most popular outside of Wolverine, I guess.
Um,
He's definitely more popular than Cyclops, huh?
yeah,
Adam?
because people suck. That's why.
Jeez.
He's I don't know. Does Deadpool count as an X-Men? He's an X-Men character.
When I think of him, I actually think of X Force, not
Yeah, but the X-Force is X-Men. It's all
It's all relative.
yeah. Um, and you're doing is this going to be the one based on the Marvel Universe card or
Yeah,
the
this
X-Men?
is the Series 5 one that I showed you, where he on a photo background.
Okay, yeah, where he was in the French Quarter.
Yeah, jumping off somewhere on Bourbon Street, and he's gonna get his boots stuck to the ground because of all the filth and vomit.
um, he'll have
The whole New Orleans experience in one card.
kinetically charged waste.
Yeah, I might have to fix this leg. So I'm just kind of just drawing it in right now, and I'm gonna go back and kind of just tweak the proportions. I was just kind of getting the sketch, and then I might change the costume. Not 100%.
Yeah, the original card was done by Lee Weeks.
Yes,
Um,
he actually did a couple of for the Marvel Universe card. I think he did a couple over the last couple years of those coming out.
well, he was the first person to draw a Gambit series. Well, it was a mini series, but
Yeah.
I actually had a Lee Weeks Gambit poster when I was a teenager. I don't know why it was kind of cool though. It was the design of it didn't have a background, but it was meant to be a playing card, but with him at the center. So a little bare bones, but some forethought clearly went into it.
Yeah, Wayne, I get a message from Wayne. Send me a link. This isn't working.
Wayne Barris.
Yep, Mr. Wayne Barris.
I'll send it to him. Pardon
What are
us
you doing, Mr. Wayne Barris? That was me trying to do your Tracy and Morgan impression.
Really? It sounded like you were doing Snuffleupagus.
Well, I thought that's what you usually sound like when you do Tracy Morgan.
Not what I sound like. Cool.
Well, how do you sound like?
I'm not doing it for you.
Oh, come on.
No. I'm not your monkey. I'm not your
Bring that knee up a little bit.
I'm not your comedy monkey.
Then what good are you, Adam?
I'm not. I'm pretty worthless. Most of my family will tell you.
Jesus.
Some, and some of the people I make love to. Anyway,
So uplifting so far, right?
is this a coffee shop? Because this roach just got dark.
Oh,
I actually ripped that. I ripped that off of what's his name? Andy Samberg did the Seth not Seth Green. What was like
Seth Rogen? Seth
I don't know
Green, the
why.
Seth Green
I don't know
roast?
why Seth Green. I was gonna say Justin Bieber.
Jesus.
Andy Samberg did this Justin Bieber roast,
First,
and he basically
yeah.
it was funny, but he basically ripped off Norm Macdonald from the Bob Saget roast.
Yeah. For some reason, I just used my eraser and it smeared the pencil in a weird way, but I'll make it work. It looks like looks pretty bad, but I'll be able to fix it. Some weird smearing that happened down there.
But yeah, no, Gambit's a super popular X-Man. Channing Tatum has been
Channing
trying,
Tate Yum.
maybe for you, has been trying to turn him into a movie star.
Well, that's
Get
not
a-
happening.
No, it's not. Like I think they canceled the movie.
I mean, they had to once Marvel got the hold of it again, right?
No. He would he had the rights to it as far as I know. Well, maybe not. No, maybe Fox.
I mean, Fox actually has the rights. Maybe he
Yeah,
was a producer on it or something.
I don't think it was Marvel though. That movie, he was trying to make that movie for like 4 or 5 years, and it just never took off. I don't think it was. I don't think it was Disney. Although I hear Disney's canceling Deadpool 3.
I thought they was all ago, like a little while ago.
I had heard that they said they were going to go through with it, and then the other day, I mean, I didn't do any research, but I saw something that said like Deadpool was canceled. So, but you know what? Now that I think about it, that might have been Rob Liefeld running his mouth. So,
Well, that could be. That's what he usually does. He does kind of just go off on tangents on social media.
are you going to be drawing Gambit's trench coat in this?
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I kind of got this base pose based off of that, and now the part is deciding should I do should I just do a complete homage to this as the card kind of looks, or should I change the costume?
Do his X Factor costume.
Let's see. Gambit X Factor. Oh, yeah, he still has he has a coat, but it's not like a trench coat, huh?
I actually don't remember. I just remember yellow and black was their team costume. All new, all different X Factor.
I kind of like the design though.
All right, images.
I like how I look up reference photos on my tablet, and like the first things that are coming up, it's like him just holding a bunch of cats.
Wait, what?
It's just a photo of him holding a bunch of cats.
Yeah, it was. I kind of remember this cover now. Yeah, this series didn't last long. It was cool though. I mean, they had ended the previous X Factor run, which was one of the best things Marvel's ever done, and they decided to redo it as all new, all different, with Peter David still writing it, and Carmine DiGomenico. I can never remember how to say his name.
DiGomenico? That's how you said. Something funny.
So, but it was still pretty cool, and that only lasted. I don't even think it lasted a full year.
It kind of looks like, if you look at because I'm looking at the costume, it looks like a cross between like Gambit and Cyclops' costume, because it's got these weird sunglasses on.
Yeah. You know, I especially liked this version of Gambit because Peter David, I don't think he had ever written Gambit before, or at least not on any long term series. And so what he did was, like in the first issue, he had Gambit doing that stupid fake New Orleans accent that he's had for, what is it now, 30 years?
Yeah.
And then like quickly, like he started transitioning so that he would take out all the stupid, like, how you doing, Cher? Like that, the fake French crap.
Yeah.
And if the book had kept going, he would have eventually just gotten to the point where Gambit was like a normal human being instead of a weird,
like stereotype of Cajun people.
Yeah, like.
Funny enough, I see our friend at the Metal Hand of God. No one really wants a Gambit movie. He does. I don't want to say it on the podcast live stream right now, but you can read it yourself, Adam.
Yeah. Thanks for the language. We're trying to keep this PG.
I didn't say it. Oh, did you hear the lightning outside?
Oh, is that y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasmine's yelling from downstairs. That's why she's not walking the dog right now.
So if the stream suddenly goes dark, does that mean you died?
Could be. Or it goes like, what's like the murder mystery things where you're like, the lightning strikes and the electricity goes out and then I have a knife in my back? Like it starts to be like Clue.
Oh, can I kill you?
And then she yells, "It was the dog."
I think it'd be more likely the unicorn.
Yeah, it would definitely be Jasmine. Not that you would die, that you would kill me.
The dog loves you more than Jasmine does.
What was that, Adam?
I said the dog loves you more than Jasmine does.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you did curse Wayne. I can read it. I'm looking at it.
I mean, technically, he censored himself. To play devil's advocate here.
But yeah, no, what I was saying, though, was like Peter David was going to get rid of all the stupid crap that kind of defined Gambit. But that series got canceled. Then immediately they put him back on an X-Men book, and he was back to talking, fake Cajun.
What makes sense?
Because Marvel.
Because Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I am going to go ahead and draw the X Factor version. However, I'm going to give him his trench coat still. I think that's kind of makes the part of this card cool. I probably should have put the original card image up. But if you look at or you saw the cover art for it, that was what it was looking like originally.
So the original card is basically, so it's kind of a classic Gambit pose, which you can see here, where he's sort of like jumping downward, like sort of like a spike, like his foot is going to spear someone.
Yeah, well, you have this what you would call a line of action. So you have this whole curvature, and you're not going to see it because of the delay, Adam, but you're going to see it in a second. Me tracing that, just kind of that swooping line of how your eye is probably going to read the card, or your eye goes over the artwork.
And then he's also simultaneously throwing 3 of his patented, Gambit kinetically charged playing cards. But he's jumping off of the card's weird because it's a great pose, but they took, I personally think it was 2 pictures of buildings in the French Quarter.
Oh yeah, they're composites. I think it's 2 different. They're close in perspective.
Yeah, like it wouldn't look like that in real life.
Yeah.
But they then added them in like to the photo in a weird pose, and it I don't know, like it's a weird thing because it just you can't add like realism to the back of a comic book image. It just doesn't work. But the pose was cool, so
yeah,
I personally thought this was a good idea to do that one because some of the other cards, like one of them had Gambit fighting aliens
we think that were colored, like it was colored wrong, right?
Right. It was supposed to be Brood. The Brood are sort of the Marvel Universe version of the aliens from Alien.
Yeah.
Um, but instead, when the Brood eat you, they sort of take over your body and lay eggs in you. Like I never really understood where they
Hot.
were going with
That's
that.
hot.
Like, I mean, I don't know what you and the old lady do, but when I get laid, I don't lay eggs. But what were you gonna say?
I was just like, wow, this is going downhill.
I mean, you're the one that brought it up, but
Yeah.
but anyway, but yeah, the Brood are pretty interesting.
You know what, Adam? I might have to change paper because something happened where my eraser just like left a huge like imprint like across this image that I cannot get rid of right now.
So you have to redraw all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you such a terrible artist?
I don't know, man. It was just my luck.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, we'll fix it.
So
That's not something that I can't fix. That was one of those things where I can't fix that.
in other news, Netflix just added the show Avatar.
Yeah. Well, wait. The animated show. Now we're not talking about the movie.
No, not the
I always
James.
got that confused when that actually came out.
Yeah, I saw a few people like it's an interesting show. Have you ever seen it?
Have I seen it? Yes. Probably the first two seasons, and I stopped after that.
Okay. So it's American manga. Well, no, not American. I always say manga. I mean American anime. And it's really, really good. It's tells the story of this young boy who's a monk who was destined to save the world, and he gets trapped in like an ice floe for 100 years.
Yeah.
And the world is represented by four different nations: the Fire Nation, the Earth Kingdom, the Water Tribes, and the Air Nomads. And the Fire Nation takes over the world within 100 years, and it's up to him to save the world. And so he has like all these.
Sounds like a ripoff of that M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Last Airbender.
Uh huh. Did you ever watch that one?
No, actually, I did. It was a very poor adaptation of it.
Well, as I understand, they adapted the entire first season into one movie.
Yeah.
And that first season's like 22 episodes. But
It wasn't great.
but it's an excellent show. Great storytelling, great voice actors. Very original, I mean, to a degree. I mean, you can argue like humanity has mutant powers for no reason. And then but it works for adults and it also works for kids because there's all sorts of. So one thing that makes me laugh is they'll just randomly take different animals and put them together. So like there was like a pig chicken.
A pig chicken?
There'll be
I don't remember any of this. I just remember, what is it, Appa? The flying whatever that was?
Appa was a flying bison.
Yeah.
There were wolf bats in one episode, which sounds about the most terrifying thing I can imagine. Flying wolves. So yeah, I've been rewatching that series. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, sadly, the M. Night Shyamalan.
I like how we both like butchered that man's name.
I don't know
Shyamalan
anybody.
Ding Dong.
I don't know anybody that knows how to say his name. I've heard people say Shyamalan,
Yeah.
Shamal, I just go with Shamal, and it sounds right. Unless you know different. If you personally know that his name is different, please correct me.
Yeah. Yeah, could someone in the chat like phonetically spell out how we should actually say his name?
Aliens lay eggs in you as well, but use a face hugger to implant. Oh. Okay, well I didn't know that.
No one asked you, Wayne. Okay, you're back at him.
I didn't. I might have asked him. I don't.
What was that?
I said. I said.
Oh, well, if you actually did, I'm sorry, Wayne. Please forgive me. Love to be on the show.
Never again.
Never again. Yeah, I won't be allowed on. Yeah, I'll be the first guest banned from from Imhog.
As many downtrodden and abused races throughout history have said, never again.
Yeah, I'll be banned from the first one banned from Imhog.
No, the woman who was really into people peeing on her.
Wait, what? This probably isn't good pod. We probably shouldn't be talking about this on the live stream, but
I mean, I'm not going to use any graphic language, but yeah, she was a porn star, and she went on quite a while about how she was into water sports.
Nice.
And I was super.
And we're not talking about like water polo or synchronized swimming.
No, water sports is a pornographic term for people peeing on other. I will simplify it by just saying people peeing on other people. There's more to it, and I could get into it, but it gets really graphic and really gross.
If you're watching this now, you probably didn't realize this was going to be an educational show, did you?
You did not. But yeah,
she also said a name.
She also had like J-cup breasts, and she claimed she was planning on getting more implants. So she was a nice woman, but clearly had been abused at a level that I can scarcely understand.
So you could say she was soiled?
Yes, both literally and figuratively. Again, I don't want to get too graphic on your audience, but it was pretty gross, and
yeah, I don't want to ruin the stream.
It takes a lot for me to be like, all right, I'm out. But I think 10 minutes into that episode, I was just like, okay, can we wrap this up? Because I don't.
Yeah, which I'm kind of shocked because usually you're you're pretty good. You say some pretty horrible stuff yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a gentleman.
And again, I have stories not suited for this live stream that I could say right now. Let's say otherwise.
Lies, scurrilous lies. Again, I don't want to disparage this. She was very nice, but she grossed me out, and I just wanted to take like a 3-day shower when I was done talking to her. So
that could have been your future wife, man.
Really couldn't have. I don't have what she needs. Which is
you definitely have urine.
Yeah, I do. I did have that.
Would you not have like she gets with somebody, but she's with a guy who can't urinate properly?
Well, I'm going to be 41 in another month or so, so it's my bladder is fairly sporadic. I think
you don't have a young man's bladder, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I agree, Travis. Listen to past Imhog episodes. She was nice, but not a good guest. I mean, that was you who made that choice. That was not me. I contact this woman.
Well, he didn't say that he chose her. Did he? Did he say it was?
He chose her. That was him. Because I hate talking to people. I always kind of groan whenever I have to talk to a special guest. Um, I mean, I barely tolerate talking to you, so you can imagine a woman peeing on other people is just not my thing.
Not today, at least.
So anyway, so we're drawing X Men's
Yeah,
Gambit.
yeah. X Men's Gambit. Certainly, he is a gentleman and would not urinate on ladies.
Yeah, I don't know. He's from the French Quarter.
He
He
goes
is a
to the
member,
bottomless topless club.
he is a member of the Thieves Clan, which, as Chris Claremont explained, is just Cajun for family.
What?
That was in an wait, no, wasn't Chris Claremont. It was Jim Lee and John Byrne. It was when the X-Men and Ghost Rider went to the French Quarter to stop the Brood.
What a weird setup that you just had for me for that.
I didn't write it. This was in the '90s. Jim Lee. This was some of Jim Lee's last issues of X-Men before he went to form Wildstorm. Basically, Gambit's wife Belladonna shows up and says they need him back because he had been banished from New Orleans, and the Ghost Rider comes along, and they fight the alien Brood, who I believe possessed Wolverine and the Ghost Rider during those issues. But at some point, Belladonna's talking about their clan, and Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit, explains that in New Orleans, clan is just Cajun for family. Which I remember being 12 and thinking, no, it's not. No, it's not. Also, most people know what the word clan means. Also, in the South, the word clan means something very different.
Yeah, completely different. I was just thinking about that. It's like,
if you're in the French Quarter, you tell people about your clan, they're going to have certain assumptions about you. And it's not going to be...
good ones.
It's not going to be about your mom. Well, I mean, it will be about your mom, but other people as well. I'm saying the clan doesn't like black people. I don't know.
Gambit's clan. Gambit's
I don't know. I don't know if I was clear enough about that.
You saying Gambit's clan doesn't like what people, Adam?
Black people.
That's horrible. This is gonna be this is going downhill.
What is it? Is it wrong to say black people now? Good God! Like how PC.
I hope people don't click on this and be like, "Oh, these guys are just being awful, talking about Klansmen."
Why did you just turn into like a weird Gone with the Wind impression?
I was just doing your Tracy Morgan impression again.
That is not my Tracy Morgan.
It's pretty spot on.
No, it's really not. It's really not.
Rest in Reese's Pieces from Guy.
I swear I thought you said Master Gracie's Pieces. I was like, what? What the? And I remembered, he's making a reference to something I said. Which no one in your audience, except possibly Wayne, if he's still there.
Yeah, that's the only reason I said it. It's a small audience right now.
I really hope your mom's been in the chat while we were talking about water sports.
She's gonna be like, "Oh, that takes me back." You really went quiet there, Adam.
No, I'm just reading. Wayne wrote something, and now it says message retracted.
Uh-oh. Triple X-Men's
Gambit. People. Yes, I know what he's thinking. About peeing on somebody. Anyway, are we really 46
drip.
Oh, man.
I will say this X Factor costume that I'm starting to kind of pencil in. So this is Gambit, based on for anyone joining us, I had to start over a little bit because I made a small error. But now I'm just kind of softening up so I can go in and do some more finer detail stuff.
So yeah, so this is Gambit jumping off a balcony in the French Quarter
Yeah, because again, you
because
can
he's
actually
all
Google
looking
it if you
fresh.
really want to see it. Marvel Universe Series 5 Gambit. It's these weird cards that they started coming out with in the 90s. And it's, if you're not familiar with these videos, I usually draw an homage to different 90s trading cards. And the majority of my collection are like Marvel cards. And I kind of have affinity for that time period, especially for those cards. And that's the whole theme for those. So this one in particular, yeah, they start using photo backgrounds on some of these cards, and not all of them. It's a certain amount have these weird photo backgrounds. I don't know if it's just ones Lee Weeks drew. Not 100%. I guess
Really?
it was very new to draw at the time because this was 1994.
And Lee Weeks was a great artist. He if I was he the one that was drawing the Ed Brubaker Captain America comics? I think he was.
Yeah, I think you're
I'm
right.
I'm pretty sure. Which would he what he would be most famous if which for those of you that don't read comics, um, Ed Brubaker and Lee Weeks did a run on Captain America that ended up being partially translated into the Winter Soldier movie. Um, I'd say about half the movie is based on that. The other half is like a really cool um, book called Secret Warriors, which basically was about Nick Fury kicking people's asses and fighting the government. One of my favorite books.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm just reading the chat too. Let's see. Clan can be considered Family Man. It was a typo. Clan of the Bear People, that Daryl Hannah movie. But I still agree the explanation was dumb.
I don't know about Daryl Hannah, but I'm just saying. I don't call
Are you
people my.
saying you don't? Oh, you don't. That you don't know about Daryl Hannah?
No, no, no. I'm not the. I'm not a Splash fan.
Are you really? That's a great movie.
I never got into it. Just wasn't my thing. Even though it had the
Is it
great
because of the water sports involved?
because of the water sports. Even though it had the late great John Candy, just wasn't a fan.
I mean, technically, she had to be because if she was swimming in the ocean, she has to go in the, she has to go. She's going in the ocean, right?
Yeah, you can take a joke too far, huh?
Or
You can
not
just
far enough.
you can just ruin it. You can just ruin it. But not a Daryl Hannah fan. You know what I am a fan of?
I'm waiting.
I think you can guess.
League of Their Own. Is that what
A
you?
League of Their Own. That's where this was going. A big League of Their Own fan.
It's okay.
Oh, whatever.
It's an okay movie.
You made a point of being like, I told you it was a perfect movie.
It was. I said it's close to a perfect movie.
Okay. Well, what's wrong with it?
First of all, some of the dialogue.
What dialogue?
Like,
Dialogue's brilliant.
there's no crying in baseball. No one says that. You know.
Well, not now, but this was in the 1940s. In the 1940s, it's well known that people would say there's no crying in baseball, like all the time. It was the hip
All
thing
the
to
time.
say.
That they had it on T-shirts then.
Uh, it was the hip thing to say. I'm just saying.
It was the hip thing. All the cool kids were doing it.
No, I do love that movie. I hadn't seen it in years, and I rewatched it, and I was just like, oh man, this. It's always a nice feeling when you forget how good a movie is. And then you watch it, and you're like, oh right, I love this. Clue is one of those movies that people have recently rediscovered.
It's such a good movie. We've talked about that at length between ourselves before. Still one of my favorite movies. And I'm still disappointed. There was out here. There's the Alamo Draft House, and they did a watch party for it. and I was disappointed that I didn't know that it was coming out and doing this like like a screening down here, and really missed out. I would have loved to seen it on like up on the actual movie screen, like a big screen.
So Wayne is saying that the only good thing in the movie was Lori Petty, which he knows as Tank Girl, of course.
I just rewatched Tank Girl recently.
But most people know her as Point Break, and Dottie's sister.
She was almost like, or I guess they were trying to have her be a big thing in the '90s for a bit, and then she kind of fizzled out. Like right after Tank Girl, I remember like she was like doing some bigger movies here and there.
Well, you can't do bigger than Point Break. You just can't. It's not possible because there is nothing bigger than Point Break.
I mean, it's not really the perfect movie, man.
Are you? I'm sorry. Are you a guy? Because I'm not sure at the moment.
I actually preferred the remake.
You're definitely a woman. I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to be on this screen.
Just like Adam has left the chat.
He might.
Oh, I didn't know you would be like so emotional about this.
She's also a big part of Orange is the New Black. Well, Wayne, congratulations. Everybody that's involved in this conversation is a woman except for me. So.
Yeah, she was on that. She was good, too.
I wouldn't know. I saw one.
Have you ever seen Tank Girl?
No. I just wasn't. I was never into her. I like her in 2 movies. I don't find her attractive. I don't think she's an amazing actress, although she is really good in League of Their Own. You do have to give her credit. She's very, very good in that movie. But just don't find her appealing. And I never read Tank Girl. Never had any interest in any of it. So
no, it's actually it's like the art is amazing. Jamie Hewlett. Who does like if you know the Gorillas, that's who does the art for Tank Girl. That was his big thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he probably makes way more money from the Gorillas.
Now, yeah, probably.
Ever tell you about the time I met the guy who designed the Rolling Stones lips?
No, what was that? That's so random that was the thing, though.
So I was in Hawaii. And on the first day, I was there with family, and my little cousin decided that she wanted to go whale watching. And so we went down to this booth that was offering free tickets to a couple of things. It was one of those deals where you go to the meetings for the sales pitch for timeshare. And so we're sitting there, we're talking to the guy, and he goes, y'all know who I am. And we were like,
he's trying to big time y'all.
Yeah. Well, he was being polite, but he was like, he's like, y'all know who I am. And I was like,
how is that
really
being polite?
Definitely don't. Sorry. And he's like, no. I'm an artist. You've definitely seen my work. And we were like, all right. Like, what does that mean? What have you done? Are you secretly a reincarnated Pablo Picasso? Like, what are you talking about? So eventually the guy, like, I can't remember if he had it beneath him or if it was behind him, but he had the Kiss lips, from the album. And he was like, that's me.
So you can tell me this guy was just being nice about it and not trying to big time you, yet he had the art ready to go to show you?
It was, he was humble.
There's a lot of stumbling there, Adam.
It depends on how you're saying big time. He was definitely humble bragging, but, it's like, it's no big deal, but, I'm a big deal. And, and I don't like the Rolling Stones. I never have. I think they're pretty
That
awful.
man, if you actually had the foresight to be like, I was like, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I should have just been like, I'm sorry, man, I'm not 60. Yeah, I don't know who that is. But the guy's like, yeah, like, and I was like, all right. I was like, cool, I guess. It's not that complicated a design. And all you're doing is pointing out the fact that Mick Jagger has huge lips. What do I keep saying? Kiss?
uh,
I meant Rolling Stones. Uh, but
hey Wayne, way to keep us honest, man. Thank you.
I got Mick Jagger right. I don't. But here's the thing: I don't like Kiss either.
What do you? It's actually gonna be a shorter list if we do things you actually like.
I like Led Zeppelin. I like Queen. I like the cool bands, Uh, but but anyway, so the guy's like humble bragging and all this stuff, and I'm like, all right. And then he like calls a limo to pick us up, and we're like, all right.
Using that royalty money, huh?
Oh no!
Did the limo pull up in the shape of the Kiss? I'm sorry, the Kiss symbol, the Rolling Stones symbol.
Well, wait, the story's not quite finished.
Oh no!
So he calls the limo up, and like they pick us up, they drop us off, and we're on the boat, and oh wait, we got a lot of thank y'all for commenting.
Yeah, thank you.
And so we're on the boat, and you go out to the water, and the whales, blow their nose in the air.
Yeah, Wayne is the MVP.
And so I'm watching the whales, and I'm like, all right, like this is cool. But after a few minutes, I go and sit down, like in the I don't know, the lounge part of the boat. I don't know what you call it. And the tour guide that was driving the boat, I guess the captain, is just like, "You all right, man?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "You don't want to see the whales?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it blew its nose. You saw its back. It goes back under the water. People go ooh and ah." I'm like, what else am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to ooh and ah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, thank God you're normal." I was like, "Yeah, man. I just gotta fake it." I was like, get the crowd hyped up. I was like, "Oh, I get it." And we start talking, and I bring up the guy. I was like, "Yeah, this guy sent us." And he's like, "Yeah, I designed the Rolling Stones lips, and the guy goes, "Oh, that guy." I was like, clearly there's a story there. I was like, why? What happened? Like y'all rumble? Like what's y'all got beef? And he's like, no, he's fine. It's just, I mean, dude, you're in your 70s and you're still telling that story about that one drawing you did of somebody's lips. It just made me it's like, yeah, because at the end of the day, like,
and no one cares.
The guy was telling us about how he partied with Mick Jagger and all these people, and I'm like, yeah, but now you're working a booth on the side of the road in Hawaii. So,
oh, he was working it. He wasn't just like a guest or anything. He actually worked there.
He was the person selling us stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So,
well, it must not be doing too well.
No, I guess he didn't secure the rights to the lips because they use that everywhere. But on the other hand, he's working Hawaii and I'm, sitting in an attic. So
talking to me on a live stream.
Yeah,
Boy, the glamorous life, huh?
It's funny where life takes you. But anyway, it just made me laugh. He was just like, "Oh, that guy." So yeah, thank y'all for joining us. So
yep.
Travis is drawing Gambit of the X-Men, which you can probably tell because it literally says drawing the X-Men's Gambit based on a Marvel Universe trading card. Hey man, if I drew the Rolling Stone lips, that's how I would introduce myself to everyone. Well, you know what, Jesse Elliott? No one knows. I don't even know that guy's name, and I met him.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell people that you're really a 70-year-old man who designed the lips?
Yeah, actually, Jesse, you could get away with that. The next time, if you're out and people ask you what you do for a living, you tell them you drew the Rolling Stones lips. No one's going to know who that person is.
Well, what would be the equivalent? You mentioned the gorillas. Like, could you just tell somebody, like, yeah, the gorillas artist, the guy does that. Like, nobody knows.
Yeah, it's me. I mean, unless they were going to Google search real quick.
We have a friend named Tim Laddie who comes up often, and he used to tell people. And,
Oh,
and
that he was Baby Oscar from Ghostbusters?
yes, he was the baby Oscar from
Yeah.
Ghostbusters too. And it's brilliant because nobody knows who those people are. Like, nobody even knows that they're. But I did see a picture of them the other day, and I guess they're my age, like, or no, I'm older. They're your age. They're your age, right. So who's Katie Bug 9393?
Oh, that is my cousin going in. It's mostly family and friends in this, and I appreciate y'all watching.
And Sarah Jane, is she also
Yeah.
a cousin? Okay.
More family
Well-
members for you to hate.
Oh, are they he-males?
No, they're not homels, no.
Oh, see, I wasn't gonna say that on the stream. I was being polite, but you brought it up, so
Well, they might like your cowboy hat. Who knows?
they probably would.
They might have bad taste.
I mean, they're related to you, so.
Oh, my God, you took a second to gather yourself.
But anyway, but he's yeah, Jesse, we know. This was mentioned. If you showed up earlier in the stream, this was mentioned. I'm just saying, most people.
Jesse, if you were truly a nice guy, you would have watched this from the beginning. Okay.
I'm just saying, most people don't know who the Gorillaz artist is.
Jokes aside, we brought it up earlier when we were talking about that, and it's like, no one would really know. Like, a normal person would not know who actually drew that art.
I mean, let's be real. Most people don't even know who the Gorillaz actually are. Well, because it's one dude. It's from another band. I can't remember the band. Wayne knows. Wayne can chime in.
We're just waiting for it. Got really quiet.
From Aunt Cindy, I want you to come be a guest drawer.
A guest drawer. I can't wait to be a guest drawer.
I want you to be a guest cabinet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I can't wait. It goes open and close. Open and close.
Jasmine's occasionally mentioned that you're a pretty good piece of wood. Anyway, Blur. Thank you, Jesse. It's the lead singer of Blur.
Yeah, with no help from Wayne.
Yeah. So what happened to the MVP?
Yeah. Yeah, because yes, Blur. Hey, thanks for nothing, Wayne.
I think Wayne's the SVP.
Oh God.
No, we understand, Katie. We're just joking. I mean, I am.
She meant artist. Thanks. We know. We're just
intentionally-
joking around.
I am intentionally insulting your family because you're related to
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah, I'm joking around, Katie, but Adam isn't. He actually hates the female side of the family. Mostly because my family questions his cowboy hat choices in life.
It could just be because your family's a piece of crap, Like,
Jeez, dude.
it could just be that, Let's not be too discerning.
Or let's
Anyway,
just admit you might have questionable hat choices.
I don't. I have awesome hat choices. I have nothing but awesome hats.
Do you?
I'm looking at. First of all, that little. That's me. Okay, quit stealing my shtick. Okay. But anyway, so if you're a little confused by what Travis is drawing. So he's taking the X-Men. Well, no, it was a Marvel Universe trading card.
Yep.
And updating it with a more recent costume.
Yeah.
So that's why, if you're really familiar with Gambit, he won't look that much like Gambit aside from the cards. But coming out really nice. I really like the costume here.
Thank you.
I mean, you didn't design it; you're just drawing it. But
Yeah.
you know,
No, it's kind of cool. It's the jacket's kind of weird. Or this weird. There's this weird symbol that's on these. Like this is the symbol on his jacket. Is like this weird Y symbol, like a circle with like these 3 black bars.
mm-hmm.
I don't understand what that's from. I never read this run that came from.
You'd have to ask Carmine DiGomenico.
I'll get right on it. I'll send my people.
Oh, so are you showing what the design looks like?
Oh no. I was just going over. Well, I did. Yes, I did of that symbol. Yes, I thought you meant of the card.
No, I gotcha.
I heard the hat is terrible. It is.
I heard that your whole family is garbage, so whatever.
It's like someone took it and they put it underneath their armpit, and they went for like a walk on a hot day with it, and they forgot it was underneath there, and then took it out and then gave it to Adam.
That was a long way to go, but sure.
It's really actually, in all honesty, it's actually not a bad hat. I don't know what I actually think that's unfair. What? I took you to the spot, and I was actually trying to be nice.
I don't trust anything you or your family says, Travis. I'm only in it because your wife's a nice woman.
We love armpit hats.
I don't even know what that means, but I just feel bad for poor Jasmine getting trapped in your family. It's, you'd think that would be against the rules of the Geneva Convention.
What are you even talking about?
Marrying one of you people.
What do you mean, you people?
It just seems like a war crime.
What do you mean, you people?
I'm talking about you, white.
What do you mean, you people? She's half of me. I was about to ink this, but hold on. I'm just checking stuff in the pencils before I get started. All right.
Travis is using his lying voice. He is.
Yeah, my aunt. I create my own account so I can chat. That's so lovely. No, thanks everybody. Travis is using his lying voice. Yes, Wayne, I 100% am. Or should be like, no!
You don't have to. We can tell when you're lying.
So right now I'm starting to ink. This is turning into kind of a favorite tool to use. It's a brush pen. And I'm just going to do the outside, the outmost line of Gambit, which is the contour line, for those who don't know what I'm referring to.
So, you know what else I watched the other day that's now on Netflix?
What?
Do you remember in the 90s they made a live-action Ninja Turtles TV show called The Second Mutation?
Yeah, when they had the female Ninja Turtle introduced, Venus de Milo.
Yes.
Yep.
It is terrible.
What made you think it was good? What? Like, it didn't stay on TV that long for a reason.
I never necessarily thought it would be good. I've never seen it before. I was just curious, like to watch it and see what it was like. And see, you never know. Some of those things like they have Beetleborgs on Netflix now. And that's not good, but it's charming, for what it is. Whereas...
Hey, buddy.
Whereas the next mutation is terrible. First of all, everything the Ninja Turtles say is some sort of catchphrase. Like Michelangelo will yell out "Ninja-fy." I don't know what that means. I don't know how you
don't just go around the house yelling that.
Yes, like legitimately, they're just like and they don't even use like Cowabunga. It's horrible. Worst thing to happen.
They didn't have the copyright then. Actually, I mean, I think that was one of the reasons that Eastman and Laird didn't talk for a while was because of that, or he got rid of his part of the rights. I forget what it was.
I thought it was over one of their wives.
I don't know. There's the Toys That Made Us documentary, which if anyone on here hasn't watched it yet, you should. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, Wayne. It's horrible. Worst thing to have on TMT. Just confirmed. The hat is terrible.
You know, one day I'll seek vengeance on your family. But anyway, Wayne says it's Eastman's fault. I never met. I wish Tim Stoddard was in here because Tim Stoddard's a close personal friend of Kevin Eastman, and he could.
They did a signing at the store, didn't you?
Yeah, I think they hung out.
Well, so did Laddie. Got to hang out with him, I think.
Yeah, but who wants him on here?
Whoa, that'd be funny if the one time he's actually watching would be like now. I'm pretty sure he's not watching.
I promise you, he's not. But
come on, bro. Let me know when you live stream, bro. Hit me up. I'll live stream with you, bro. You know, bro.
None of these people know who that is, but
that's how he talks.
But yeah, Next Mutation, really terrible. Like I didn't even sit through the whole episode.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I was mostly watching it because I wanted to see what turtle boobs looked like.
Wow.
Or whatever. Like, you're not curious, like, you know, would her shell stick out a little bit more? You know, it's
Have you never heard of Rule 34?
Look, I'm sorry that I'm into evolutionary biology, Travis.
Dude, you have a lot of problems. You know this, right?
Wayne says I asked him to join me in what?
In matrimony? Oh
in
my
the
God,
dark
y'all
side.
finally getting hit?
In a menage a trois. Am I allowed to say menage a trois?
I mean, we're all English speakers here, so I mean that's fine. No one's gonna care.
It can't be worse than water sports.
Oh boy. Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
What? You know, you just see a slip and slide. But yeah.
Yeah, slip and slide. Wow.
So, have you seen anything new and interesting, Trey?
Yes. So there's a TV show that's called *Halt and Catch Fire*, and it is about the tech industry in the like the computer tech industry in the '80s, and it goes through the '90s. There's only 4 seasons, but really good show. It's Lee Pace. If you've ever seen Pushing Daisies,
I think you mean Lee Pachi.
is that how the name's actually said? Or you're not messing with me? I can't tell.
I'm just joking. I only know him from he played Ronan in Guardians.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the main characters in here with Mackenzie Davis. She was in that recent Terminator movie.
Oh, the guy girl that you like?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that inappropriate?
No, it's fine.
Lying voice.
It's fine. I don't want to know what that pouring sound just was. I just heard was.
I'm getting older and I have to drink a lot of water.
Yeah, have a little glass.
Thank you for the baby glass of beer. Thank you. Cheers.
It's a little beast lager.
Cheers, Adam.
Jasmine, is he hurting you?
Is he here?
Blank once for
Get
yes.
back in the room!
Hey,
Is he
Adam.
abusing you? Hi, Jasmine.
Hope you're having fun.
Well,
not.
your in-laws are on here, so no, not really.
Oh. She likes
My
them.
life. No, just kidding.
Did I meet any of these people at your wedding? I just don't
It's a possibility.
I may have just blacked out your entire family. I like the moments of silence.
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to figure. I'm flipping back between some of these references because his hair is so different in this X-Men. He doesn't look like himself almost.
Well, that's the thing about Gambit. Like, they've given him probably like 5 or 6 different costumes over the years, but most of them look more or less the same. Like, they're usually not redraws, they're updates, but this is, the X Factor uniform was not streamlined, but had like a similar design concept for each of the characters that was somewhat individualized. So like Gambit was the only one I think with a jacket, I think. Um you know, but I like it. I like that it's different. And you talked about me with my insensitive remarks, LOL. I I don't know. Sometimes I say bad things.
Do you? Not you,
Occasionally.
Adam.
No. No, believe it or not, as awesome as I am, sometimes I say bad things.
I don't know, man. You're pretty calm as a cucumber. I don't think you have any altercations with anyone we know.
Calm as a cucumber. What are you, an extra in Greece?
Do they even say that in Greece?
I don't know. Sounds like something they say in Greece.
Like the movie, not the country.
Yeah, no, I knew you. I mean, I'm the one who made the statement. Like, what? Like, I don't know why you're clarifying my statement to me, but
Well, just in case you didn't understand it.
what was that?
Oh, it's my phone going off. So what people don't probably know is that I'm actually using my my phone as a webcam. So unfortunately, trying to find a webcam in the pandemic is very hard because I guess everyone's working from home, so it's very hard to actually get a hold of a webcam for some reason, just a basic webcam. So instead, there's a way to use my smartphone as a webcam, and actually it works pretty well for what I needed to do.
Yeah, I stopped at Office Depot the other day to get a computer component, and some guy was asking one of the saleswomen if they had a webcam, and they almost laughed him out of the store.
Really?
They were like, no, sir. Like we
You
haven't
big
we
stupid.
haven't had webcams in weeks. Like it's which is surprising because I feel like most people use laptops these days. And laptops tend to have webcams. But maybe I'm wrong.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Might be the third, but yeah.
So now I'm just going in. People or anyone's joining or sticking around. I'm just going in with a 01 Prismacolor pen. I mean, just like because I always realize I always like mention the brand. The brand to me really doesn't matter. I just had a bunch of these around here from over the years. Some were still like fresh in the box, and no real preference. They work pretty well.
It's important to mention that Travis is not being paid by Big Prisma.
Yeah, I'm not being paid by big fine point pens. Or just Big Pen?
No, Big Pen is a rapper.
It's a real... I don't know.
No,
It
no,
feels
it's
stupid when it's like, no, Travis.
It's not, but it could be. I don't know. I saw there's a rapper in New Orleans I saw the other day who calls himself Nelly, but to get around the rights, he spells it NXLLY.
Huh.
Who was the original creator of X Force? Rob Liefeld, probably. X Force was originally the New Mutants, created by Chris Claremont and was it Sienkiewicz?
What with New Mutants?
Yeah, was he the
Yeah, it was
original
with
art?
Sienkiewicz.
Okay. Um, but when Rob Liefeld came on board, he became a huge star and basically started making demands. And the writer at the time was a woman named Louise Simonson, who was a pretty famous writer for the X Men books and
Yes,
other things.
because didn't she co-create Cable with Liefeld as well?
So Liefeld claims he completely came up with the idea.
With
Uh,
no one else.
yes. So Walt Simonson, legendary artist, one of my favorite artists of all time, said like put out a statement a couple years ago. Uh, Basically, back when Deadpool, the original movie, was coming out, um, and he basically said, "Well, this is to the best of my recollection," and this was 30 years ago, so there could be details wrong. But essentially, he said the editor said they needed a certain type of character, and there were different things, and maybe Rob Liefeld came up with the name Cable. I forget everything he said, but basically, Walt Simonson said like he's pretty sure it was fairly collaborative, but neither he nor Louise Simonson really cares, which they should because I hope they got some money out of it, but I doubt it. I'm sure
I severely doubt that actually happened.
but Louise Simonson's sort of an unsung hero in the comics industry. Like people talk about, nobody wants, they're trying to keep women creators out, and it's like, no, if you read comics when you were a kid, you'd know that's not true.
Yeah, they do have women in comics. I mean,
There were never a lot, but that's not anybody's fault. Nobody was trying to keep them out. Um, but yeah, so but X Force, by the time Liefeld really started taking hold, when Cable and Deadpool came around, I don't know if she left on her own or whatever, but a very, very well, not very famous, but to me, very famous writer, Fabian DeCillo took over, but Liefeld was kind of calling the shots for a lot of stuff, and they changed it from New Mutants to X Force, and the idea was that the New Mutants were now going to be a paramilitary group, and they'd be considered terrorists by a lot of people. And then eventually Rob Liefeld left Marvel to go form,
Image.
not Awesome, but what was it?
Image. To go form Image, you said.
Right. I was trying to think of the specific studio that because it wasn't Awesome.
His was Extreme Studios.
Stream Studios. Yeah, there you go. And so then the people at Marvel were like, yeah, this terrorist thing doesn't really work, so they kind of straightened it out. And yeah, and the X Force brand's still famous, but it never quite works.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should do Boom Boom.
Oh yeah, I would actually like to do the version from Next Wave.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Boom Boom is a New Mutant slash X Force character, very 90s. Her power was basically to create time bombs.
And I don't know. Well, Next Wave, she got like eventually she got more portrayed as like an airhead, like an extreme.
No, that was always in Next Wave. The whole idea was that she was a reality TV star, so she would talk like
OMG, like
yeah, a super stereotypical Valley girl. She would make statements, but say it as a question. So she would say, "I don't like this." The sandwich was cold. It would always, and it was interesting to see because you're reading it. But they made sure to like the way they structured it, you got the impression that she would talk in a question. Just interesting. But Next Wave, one of my favorite books of all time.
Same.
Also, to my knowledge, I'm probably wrong. There's probably an indie book that did it first, but to my knowledge, the only comic book that came with its own theme song.
Oh, no. Actually, there's a few others that have come out in the last couple years that have their own theme song.
Did I say only? I meant first.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair to say that. Yes.
But it might have been like an indie book that did it first.
And if anyone's interested, because we were talking about Chris Claremont, if anyone's interested in kind of the stuff we're talking about, because we're talking about different comic book history type of things, there's a great podcast and video podcast on YouTube called The Comic Book Kayfabe, and it's with Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg. And Ed, I'm not really familiar with Ed because he did the Hip Hop Family Tree book, and also X-Men Grand Design. And Jim Rugg has done a few other books. I only know the name of one, which is called Street Angel. But anyway, they just recently had an interview with Chris Claremont and was really good. So if you're an X-Men fan and you're listening, you should actually go and check that out.
That's not the way you explained it to me. You said it went on way too long.
It did go on for a long time, in all fairness. But if you're into the stories, you'll like it.
You're like, what does this old bastard think he is? Like,
Language, sir.
Bastard? Not a bad. Well, it was a bad word that back in old days. It meant, because bastard means.
So are you implying he doesn't know his father?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly what I'm
pretty low, dude. That's pretty low.
You know what I like to say? Chris Claremont had it coming.
Jeez.
He was kind of asking for it. Look at the way he was dressed.
Jeez. Tell me how you really feel about Chris Claremont.
He's all right. So thank you everybody who was in the chat. We do appreciate it. Because we can see that people are watching, but it's like
it's not a lot. Let's be honest. It's mostly family and friends, which is fine too. This video is going to be going up afterwards, but
can we say the words that are allowed on network TV? Yes, as long as you don't identify gender.
Yeah. Get your white privilege out of here, Wayne.
So yeah, this piece is coming together really nice. How far do you? Obviously you're not going to get to the background.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just kind of just working on the figure right now because I really don't want to do the whole thing on here because then it's gonna be like a 3-hour thing or 2.5 hour. So I'm just getting to the point where he's almost finished. But here's the thing for the background, especially because of the cards, and you're not going to see this right now, Adam, because of the delay, but I'm going to have to white out across his chest, because it's going to be easier doing that to get that plasma blast where the cards are coming from. Because I have these 3 cards coming out, and they're going to be last. So I'm just going to go over with some whiteout after once I get things all in there.
I figured you weren't doing it tonight, but what do you know what you're going to do for a background on this? You're going to go with the...
Yeah, I'm still going to go with it, but I'm going to drop just solid black behind him, but then I'm going to go back with some whiteout, just basic whiteout, and this Jelly Roll Sakura pen, and just go in and draw like details from the wrought iron that's in the background of the original card, and just kind of do it that way. So right now, I'm just going in, and I'm going to drop in solid black areas, and then I'm going to go back and decide how much fine detail I'm going to put in or leave it as is, and not, make sure it's not too overworked. And if if anyone on here or just popped on is interested in buying some of the art, I do have it available. Some of the art, not all of it's up there. But if you go to artoftravishemel.com, Hymel is the last name, you can go into my web store and you can buy some of the art you've seen on Draw Card.
Also, if anybody has any questions,
Yeah.
thank
About
you, Wayne.
life, technical advice, automotive trouble or something, maybe.
I mean, that would definitely be a you thing. I don't know crap about fixing a car, but
I was being sarcastic.
but it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about comic books. It can be about art, movies, whatever.
Or a League of Their Own. See you, Wayne. I see he's heading out. A League of Their Own, maybe.
Again, maybe a perfect movie.
Yeah, I really, all jokes aside, it is a great movie. Great
Uh,
lines, great performances.
a movie that I have quoted many times in my life,
Hey,
and not the
good for
not,
you, man.
not the baseball thing.
Well, what's the other quotes then?
Well, funny enough, it's because there's no reason for you to ever say there's no crying in baseball. But I do like the line before that where he's like, "You need to use your head. In case you forgot, that's that lump that's 3 feet above your ass."
Have you ever said that to someone?
Yes. I mean, not like in the heat of the moment, like as a joke, like not. And then there's, I think I told you this before. There's the line where Dottie gets a rod from a kid, which they never explain. Like there must be a deleted scene because
Oh, when he tries to get with Gina Davis.
Right. Because he's like 13.
Yeah.
Like, he's really a young child and he's driving a car. And I'm like, did they let 13-year-olds drive cars in the 40s? What? But he's dropping her off at the bar and he goes like, "How's about you take me out back in this car and make a man out of me?" He's like, "How about I slap you around for a while?" And he looks at her and he goes, "Can
Why
we do
not
both?"
both?
And I've always loved that line. I think that's a perfect line. Especially like props to the kid who has like such a fantastic delivery on that line. But yeah, very quotable movie. Like people forget. And fun. Humor's a weird thing because there's a lot of hilarious movies that don't hold up. And it's usually because they go too far with shock humor. But a clever movie will always hold up, with a solid comedic performance. So something like Clue isn't. It's not so much that Clue has utterly hilarious jokes. It's that they're very clever. Oh, very nice.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I just realized I need to add in a little extra solid black.
But yeah, League of Their Own has a lot of like cleverness, and it remains timeless.
Yeah.
Just Travis, who are your artistic influences?
Ryan
Rob
Otley is
Bartlett.
one. Ryan Otley, I'd say for composition as of late has been Will Eisner. I've been going through. Hold on, let me grab if the book is here. It used to be around here. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. I've been having this for a couple years now. I'll just put it in the camera when the camera picks it up. There we go. So Will Eisner's comics and sequential art, and he's a big influence, especially composition. It teaches you the composition as an art form, and it's just incredible. So I would have to definitely say that. A little bit lately, Art Adams here and there, and Frank Cho. Just some recent ones, and Phil Hester. I would say, are some influences.
For anyone who's not super familiar with comic book history, Will Eisner is kind of one of the guys who's considered a pioneer in the medium. Will Eisner and Jack Kirby are kind of credited with being the two most influential artists in comics history.
Yeah, I don't.
And
I honestly feel, and this is just more so of late. If you can't make a really interesting composition for a reader to look at and go through and keep reading, I mean, you could be, drawing the figure really well, but if you don't have an interesting composition and do things that might not be, considered normal with panel layouts and stuff. I think as an artist, you should constantly keep trying to push those limits. And going through that book, he goes through so many different things that help you, like little tips to how to push those limits and work as an artist. So not just trying to draw those panels well, but compose them in a way that's visually interesting for the reader.
well, that's very applicable to photography. In fact, arguably more so because you can take an amazing subject, let's say the Grand Canyon, and if you don't know how to frame it properly, it's the image is going to suck.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Art is often about finding interesting angles. It's I mean, art is literally how you look at the world. In many ways.
So yeah, those are my influences. To make you a part of this, Adam, do you have any as far as influence photography wise?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's people that I follow that.
Sorry if I'm putting you on the spot with you.
No, it's harder to when you're talking about art in the sense that you do it, line art. There's specific, ways that you draw that you can definitely say like, okay, like this is who I get my cross hatching from. Like this is where I learned this. I can tell you some of the photographers that I follow that I learned from. The primary one, I jokingly on Instagram refer to him as Sensei, is a photographer named Jason Lanier. And I spent a lot of money to actually go to a workshop that he performed that just to learn like directly from him instead of just on YouTube. There's a guy named Jared Polin. He's known as Frono's Photo. Guy named Manny Ortiz. And well, that's probably about it. But photography. I mean, all art is the same. Like you start like whether it's drawing or photography or food or comedy, you start out trying to emulate somebody you admire until you figure out who you are.
Yeah. I got told that in a portfolio review before. It was actually Cody Chamberlain at a Wizard World show in New Orleans. And he was saying it's like, if you were just starting out as a musician and you wanted to become like a cover band, but then you start picking up different influences and you start integrating in your own work and you start making original stuff that might be maybe kind of derogatory, like, what is it? Derivative. Thank you. I was going to say derogatory. Derivative of it. And eventually you'll find your own kind of voice in terms of trying to find your style, right?
If you're trying, some people never do. Some people just want to be the person that they like.
How many Art Adams clones can you think of right now?
You know what's funny? The one that always comes to mind is an amazing artist, and I don't want him to draw any other way, and that's Nick Bradshaw.
Yeah,
he is 100%. In comedy, I heard Patrice O'Neill once say, some comedians have comedy babies. So like he was like Dave Attell has a lot of comedy babies, and then basically it just means there's people that just loved him so much that they kind of, you know, became lesser versions of him. Um, in some cases, maybe more successful financially, you know. But I wouldn't want Nick Bradshaw to not be an Art Adams baby. I love Nick Bradshaw's art, and it's a little bit cartoonier. Like Art Adams's line work is a lot sharper. And
Yeah.
by the way, I do apologize to anybody that this is getting a little in the weeds. You know, we were talking about porn stars with unnatural breasts, and now we're talking about, you know, very specifics of line art. But yeah, but Bradshaw's a lot more cartoony. But even though he's definitely an Art Adams baby, it's just so good that you just like, all right, you know. And you could even argue some of Otley comes from Art Adams.
Yeah, I can say that.
You know, it's not the same. I mean, obviously Art Adams has a lot more detail to his work, but you can see like a descendancy.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, and that's how all art is. You know, I always say I'm not a big fan of Jack Kirby. I'm just not. But you know, everything in human history is standing on the backs of giants, as the old saying goes. Like, you know, like other artists are able to become better artists because, you know, somebody else did it first, and you were just able to refine that in your own way.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's very true. Sorry, I just had to fix this thing of a made accidental vector in the art, and that's where you have a point, and it's right here. This jacket with the design on this uniform, comes to like a perfect point, and I just want to get rid of that. There we go. I'm gonna come back and redraw that. So yeah, go on, Adam. Sorry, I was just.
No, that was all I was saying.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna call. Actually, I might even call it right here in a second, Adam.
And yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we've been going for a little over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do want to thank everybody who's watching.
Yes.
Jesse, even Travis's family, Sarah, Katie, Aunt Cindy.
I like how you did the show. That was very sweet, Adam. It shows that you actually appreciate that side of the family.
Yeah, I'm just putting your names down on a list. Anyway, no, but we appreciate y'all listening, and I guess we're gonna do this like every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks is what I was thinking for these.
I mean, it might not always be me. I mean, you might have somebody else come in just to chat, but
yeah,
you know, as awesome as it is getting to watch somebody break down art, it can also be, you know, a little quiet, you know, because there's so many details. You know, as great as it is getting to draw, you know, like some of the stuff is tedious. So
yeah,
you know, we do try in the live drawing to just keep things interesting.
So that's why Adam's great at, you know, having conversation with me. He's a really great speaker, and he's a good buddy to have help me out. So Adam, thank you, appreciate that. Before we kind of sign off, do you have anything you want to plug?
I will in a second, but I did want to say, Jesse's asking if you drew that.
Did I draw that? No.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously lightning culture, which I still have one episode that I haven't dropped that you're on that I really need to edit that tomorrow.
It's a couple weeks old now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, but it, you know, it's not, there's timestamp on it. It's not news.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, we probably need to do something next week. We'll figure out something.
Yeah.
I've just been busy lately, but yeah, and I mean, I can't announce it just yet, but I'm working on a photo book.
Oh yeah.
I am a photographer, and I'll be doing a Kickstarter soon, so pretty excited about that.
Yeah, man. Definitely we'll end up plugging it once that gets going on here. Again, thank you for those who are still watching. If you are watching right now and you are not subscribed, please, if you can, click the subscribe button. It really helps me out. It'll grow the channel. So I appreciate that. If you like any of the art that you've seen in some of these cards, you can go to www.artoftravishemel.com. That's HYMEL. And I do have a store on there where you can buy some of the art there if that's what you're interested in. Also, a few comp copies of comics I've had. So thanks everybody. Thank you, Adam. See y'all in another couple weeks.